Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, February 11th, 2021. Because it's Thursday, I got like some flyaways here. They're like bothering me. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted by my own face. So it's Thursday, so it's happy hour. Today I thought I'd go with something different. I actually, as weird of a choice as this might be for happy hour, I think I've had this on a happy hour before. Today I'm going to go with some V8s. Not sponsored. They didn't pay me to do this, although I wouldn't mind having a V8 sponsorship. I think that'd be kind of funny to do. But we have these in our fridge. For some reason, my wife bought like a case of V8 probably about a year ago at this point. And most of them aren't in the fridge, but there's been a handful of them been just sitting in the fridge. No one drinks them except me. And I just felt like there's one left. I felt like it's time to get rid of it. And I thought I'd do it for the live stream today. I'm getting a little bit of like a buzz or something today, guys. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from. I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining it. All right. So I think maybe that's a little better. Hopefully that's a little bit better. All right. So I'm going to go with the V8 Spicy Hot for happy hour today. Cheers, everybody. You know, every time I have V8, I just think, why isn't there vodka in it? And I would like some celery and maybe some pickled vegetables of some sort, like a pepperoncini, maybe some blue cheese stuffed olives. That's what I think of whenever I have this. I just can't shake it. It just doesn't seem like a drink. It seems weird that it comes in like a can that you would drink. It's a very strange thing. It just tastes like Bloody Mary mix to me. Nutritionally, for one can, there's 60 calories. 0 fat, 0 cholesterol, which I don't know why that surprised me. But there's 920 milligrams of salt. So I don't think I bought this, but I do remember thinking that I was going to drink this over the summer as a post-run, electrolyte replacement drink, because you got 920 milligrams of salt, 12 grams of carbs, 3 grams of protein, and 670 milligrams of potassium. So I felt like those are some pretty decent numbers. And you got some vitamin A, some vitamin C. And it is kind of tasty. I don't know who buys V8. I don't understand that. At one point, while we're in Iowa, my mother-in-law, they did it. I guess my mother-in-law buys V8. They had a big jug of V8 that no one ever drank. I don't remember when it got there or whose idea it was to get it, but we had this jug of V8. And then one day for dinner, we had like a minestrone soup. Or some sort of tomato vegetable soup. And I was like, this is really good soup. How'd you make this? She goes, you know that V8? I use that to make this soup. And I was like, oh, okay. Is that what people do with V8? You make soup out of it? I don't know. But that's what I'm drinking. Let me know what you're drinking, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Everyone that's on the live stream, on the podcast version listening in, you're probably not drinking while you're listening to this podcast. Maybe you are. But if you are, most likely you're probably running or driving. So hopefully you're not drinking anything for happy hour today, but I'm glad you guys are listening. Hopefully you're having a good run or commute. And everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, not live, but after the fact, welcome. So glad to have you here as well. Anyone that's here, let me know what you guys are drinking. I want to hear. I always say bring your recovery drink of choice. I brought a non-alcoholic one today. It's totally okay, but if you guys are drinking something else, it's totally cool too. Chris Yao says, happy Thursday. He's not going to have any drinks today. He's still working on closing 2020 financials. Can you feel my excitement? That sounds unpleasant, but that also reminds me I got to start getting to work on some of that stuff too. I should have been doing work on that stuff. I need to do more work on that stuff, but I haven't. But I got to. Oh, you don't like doing that stuff. Philip says, good day, everyone. Rest day for Laura today. So a 26K, 5 minutes, 15 seconds per kilometer long run. Wow. For him, Run Streak Day 42. Awesome. Alien Out of the Shadows is a great audiobook to listen to on Runs Through the Dark Forest. I've not really listened to a lot of fiction in audiobook before. Does it work? Here's the thing. I'm trying to think. No, I have listened to fiction on audiobook before. And the most recent experience that I can think of was not great. It was, what's that running book that everyone always quotes? But the Trial of Miles of Trials or whatever, that book. I listened to that one in audiobook, and the guy that did the book did voices, and they were not great. And so that kind of really kept pulling me out of the experience. It was very jarring. But I imagine like there's some other fiction books that could be really good, depending on whether or not there's a need to do voices and whether voices are done. All right. And it says, hi, Kapuzi and everybody. A nice 4-mile run around the golf course after work with Pip tonight. Enjoying the sunset. That sounds really pleasant. That sounds more relaxing than probably of a time than most people who would be using that. I know they're not using it this time of year, but the people that would be using the golf course would have in terms of relaxing and enjoying outside. All right. Mark says, I mix up my days. I thought today was a mukbang. Had my cup of ramen noodles, jin ramen. Very good. Oh, that's okay. I had ramen noodles today. I had more of that Mike's craft ramen, the kimchi flavored one. I added some tofu, some rice. I had some leftover boiled eggs. So I put that in there too. And it was good. It was, I don't know if it was necessarily a lot better. It like diluted the broth a lot. And so I was like, the broth isn't as good as it was. So I'm just trying to figure out a way to make that excellent. I'm thinking maybe if I do my normal thing where I put in the raw egg and then like kind of scramble it in the soup, maybe that I'll enjoy that better. But the boiled eggs that I were put in it, I don't know. They made I think they soaked up too much of the flavor or something. I don't know. All right. Stevie76 says Nick Barr's sub 3 marathon was at a USATF sanctioned race. I don't know if it was. I didn't watch it. Did that video come out? Oh, it came out today, didn't it? I remember him saying that he was going to have the video out on the 11th, right? So that would have come out today. I don't have to watch that. I don't know. I haven't seen it before. I thought he was. I mean, I didn't think because he has his like crew that follows him around and people hand him drinks and stuff for his training runs. I knew I understood. I don't know if I knew, but I thought that he wasn't going to be doing something like that. I thought he was doing it at like an actual race. And since he's in Texas, I think there are actual races there. So that was my understanding. I can see why a person wouldn't do it at a USA or wouldn't care about a USATF sanction race. But I feel like if you're going to go out and be like, yeah, I ran a sub 3 as I'm getting ready for Ironman, I feel like you would pick a USATF sanctioned race unless there was a very compelling reason not to. Like COVID restrictions. That could be one reason. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. All right. All right. Martha says, we got those appointments for dose 1 of the Pfizer vaccine tomorrow. Yippee. That is awesome news. We'll do a cowbell for that. Oh, that's loud. Sorry about that. Oh, that's a loud one. But that's awesome news. I'm very happy to hear that, Martha. He says we can liberate ourselves to some extent by the 3rd week of March. Oh, very cool. Very cool. That's so exciting. I was looking at numbers the other day, or is it yesterday? I don't know. Days are mixing up. And they're saying that like 10% of people were vaccinated in the US. And I was like, wow, I'm like, that doesn't sound like a lot. But they were like reporting it like it was a huge number. And they were like, 1 out of every 10 Americans has been vaccinated. And I was like, oh, we're doing pretty good. I mean, I understand that those are the exact same thing, but for whatever reason, 1 out of 10 sounded not so bad. But I'm glad it seems to be. I mean, it should be accelerating. It seems to be accelerating. Things in Illinois seem to be heading in the right direction in terms of increasing vaccination numbers. So I'm very optimistic, and I am very excited to hear, Martha, that you and Lev are getting your doses tomorrow. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, this is the cowbell was out. Sorry about that. What did I do to this? I've been here's the thing. I'll tell you guys about it. I was on a couple of different like, I don't know what to call them. They weren't live streams, but I was on like Zoom calls with a couple of different people, 2 different I think they're both podcasts. Well, one is like a YouTube channel. One is, they're basically interviews or conversations. So I've been doing those. I did 2 this week. I had 1 yesterday and 1 today. And so I've been messing around with all the different like settings and stuff. So I don't know. All my settings are off. That's going to be my excuse for a day, but sorry about the cowbell, but I'm glad to hear it. All right. Philippe Arc says, I've been dieting and running more. I have lost almost 20 pounds and ran my fastest mile in years, 6:55. Awesome. Getting close to my high school time. That's great, Philippe. Awesome work. That is fantastic. I can't wait to see what additional progress that you can make. Daniel Goose says about Fauci. Says Fauci gave a press conference where he claimed April should be open season on vaccines. Pretty optimistic, but great if it happens. I mean, I'm having a hard time fathoming that. It seems like it can't, but wouldn't it be nice? Oh, I would love it. All right. Ben Y says, getting people vaccinated is one more thing our government has done well. Well, that's good to hear. I mean, if you're going to get one thing right, that's a pretty good thing to get right. Lucas Lilly says, hi, guys. What's going on, Lucas? Carrie Smith is here. X Truth says 69,000 subs. Nice. Yeah, getting close. It's like 69,900 something, I think. So right on the door for 70,000. So that's pretty crazy. All right. Chris Yao says, talking to James Baker, but saying like, I'm not a celebrity, get me out of here. I know you're not talking to me, but I did want to ask people that know, maybe from, well, I'm guessing from the UK. So like Mo Farah was on, was that the show he was on? He was on some sort of reality show where basically he wasn't allowed to train and had to like eat bugs the whole time, right? Something like that. Is he still on the show? What's the story with that? Like, does anyone? I haven't been hearing anything about it, but I feel like that should be something that like people are talking about in like the running world. Like, how's Mo Farah doing on that show? Like, it would be like, I don't know. It'd be like if like a like I don't know, if like someone training for the Olympics now. Like if Aliphine had a baby and we're talking about that. And then, what if like Molly Seidel was like on Dancing with the Stars, and she's like, I'm not gonna marathon train for a little bit. I'm gonna like make sure I dance and get the gold. What is it? The glitter ball. I'm gonna win that the glitter ball, and then I'll get back to marathon training. Right? Is what's going on with that? Anybody? Is anyone watching it? James Baker says it's finished now. It was before Christmas ended. Okay, all right. And Daniel said Paul Antonono was on Dancing with the Stars, but it was after he retired. I know, but like, can you imagine like if he was on it, like in what was going to be an Olympic year? Now I get it. Originally, like 2020, he would have been done with the Olympics, so like it was the maximum amount of time before another Olympic cycle, because it would have been like basically like the month after he got back or so when they started filming. But like then the Olympics didn't happen, but he still was like locked in obligation wise to this show. So I don't know. All right. Ben says I don't watch TV, so no idea. Yeah. All right. Carrie Smith wants to know, Mike, did you get your hands on the Mach 4? I'll follow up. They were gonna send me one. Someone was gonna send me one, but I haven't seen it yet. So I really want to watch Ginger Runner's video on it, but I don't, because I do think I'm going to be getting a pair. So like I'm holding off on it. I'm waiting. Remy says, I'd like to take a moment to express my frustrations with Polar. The Verity Sense is another punch than cut for anyone who just bought the OH1. I have the Verity Sense. My video on it's going to come out hopefully tomorrow. I'm a little bit late, but I didn't get mine until yesterday. So, well, not yesterday. I mean, I got it like yesterday, the day before yesterday, the evening. I got it like the night before everyone else's videos came out. So I don't know if they forgot about me or they were like, meh, we got another one. Let's send someone to Kofuzi or what. But I'll be addressing very specifically like the OH1 versus the Verity Sense in my video. I mean, the spoiler is like, it's not that different. I mean, I don't know. So I'll talk about it more tomorrow. But I can understand how people are frustrated, especially like with what happened with the Vantage V2. There was like big like fanfare, and then it was like modest update. But even the features that we do have, we aren't going to give to anyone else. Not if you just bought a Grit X or a Vantage V1. So like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, Mary. for sure. Kevin runs a Scott says, when you offer your 70K to celebrate, you can split it if you want to. I'm probably not going to do something for like a 70K for 70,000 because I didn't do anything for 60K. I did something for 50K, so I think I'll probably not do something, but we'll see. We'll see where we get there. David Lidstone says, "What's the sub goal for the year? And have you any? I think by that means a subscriber goal. Have you used the website Social Blade for predictions of your channel? I have. I used to look at Social Blade like every other day, and I don't remember what it. I wish I had. I may have tweeted it at some point, but I don't think I did. I wish I would have like looked back and somehow documented what it thought my predictions would have been for like 50,000, 30,000. I mean, I just remember it being like years and years, but then again, it's been years and years. So maybe it was exactly right, or maybe it was wrong. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm ahead of the curve or what. It doesn't, I guess, really matter all that much. But I used to use it quite a bit. My goal for the year, I mean, I don't really have a subscriber goal for the year. I mean, I don't know if I should or not. Maybe I should, but I try not to like think of it in that way. And I think it's kind of like, I'm not saying like, it's lame to care about subscriber counts. When I had fewer subscribers, I definitely cared about it. And I think it's okay to care about it. And it's important to care about it. So having those goals was more important to me. But now I think once you get like to 30 to 50, then I think it becomes like a little bit less important in my mind, because then you're looking at like, all right, you've kind of gotten to like a level. This is like a plateau. Now I really got to like wind up and get ready for my next big punch. And like tracking down subscribers isn't the way to do that. And so at least that's what I think. So that's kind of like where I'm at. I'm gonna have a kind of like a YouTube analytics video coming up at the end of the week. I think maybe Saturday's video is going to be about that. So I'll be talking about some stuff that I've been doing. So I'll be talking a little bit more about it in detail, David. So, but I mean, to answer the question, I'd love to be able to run a 100K like in December. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. All right. Let's see. Ted and Ruth says about that thing that Mo Farah was on. It was a very short series. Okay. So I probably won't like derail his Olympic preparations. My mom is here. How's it going, Mom? Good to see you. All right. Oh man, it just jumped. Oh, here it is. And it says maybe Mo can buy a new doorbell with money from the show. Did he have a missed testing date? Was it a doorbell issue? Oh boy, I didn't know that. What show? What is it? I think it's on Sidious Mag. They do like the doping news, so they talk about people that got dinged. I guess dinged, pun intended, by USADA or WADA, for missing like testing. So interesting, very interesting. I didn't know that. But they're saying like it's been quiet. There hasn't been a lot of testing that's going on, but they think they're going to be starting bringing back the segment because I think there's going to be more testing that's going to happen. All right, Robin Spown said, Invincible run launched today in Europe. Got my order in ASAP. Looking forward to them. Cool. I saw that Ed Bud posted about it on Instagram, but then it seemed like maybe there were some delays. So hopefully that it goes through and it's going for you guys. I ran in them again today, and I had a really pleasant run with them. I had some strides in there. They're still not the greatest for strides, and it was a little bit snowy out. So like when my strides happened to hit was when I was on like the least stable footing today. So that was unfortunate. But I just really enjoyed running it. I just kind of like zoned out for a little while. And then the next thing I knew, I was like, oh, almost done with the run. So like, that's always a good sign when you like, just, I don't know where you go. It's kind of just daydream for a while. It's always a nice feeling. And like the heart rate, the pace was, good compared to the heart rate that I ran today was real low. And I had a hard workout yesterday, so I was expecting to be a little bit on the sluggish side. So like mentally I was preparing for that, but like I had a really low heart rate run and the pace was, better than I would normally correlate with that heart rate. And so I just felt great today about it. The shoe is chilly though. So like as far as the toes go, I think I'm gonna have to wear some warmer socks in the winter with that shoe. It's Like I said in the review, it's not flying it. It's not really flying it, but it's very breathable, and the shoe is cold. For if you're running in the winter. All right, Brian Ford says, "Hello from Dublin, Ireland. You absolute legend." Oh man, when people say legend, I think of Aussie Man reviews. It says, "Drinking a Hope IPA from a local brewery. Oh, that sounds delicious. Cheers to you, Brian." Tab Hunter wants to know what show is Mo on. Mo was on. I think it was the British version of Get Me. I'm a Celebrity. Get Me Out of Here. I think that's what it was. Ted and Ruth says, check out Mo on The Cube from a few years ago. Has Mo been on a lot of does Mo like being on game shows? Like that would be really funny if like that was like his weird thing. Like he just like as a celebrity enjoys kind of like Bill Murray likes to kind of like photobomb people and like just do like weird, just kind of like, hey, I'm Bill Murray. I'm gonna hang out with you for a little bit. Is that cool if I like crash your party, kind of thing? Does Mo like being on TV game shows? That'd be pretty awesome if that were like true, and like if like he's been like fighting with his agent and coach of like I really want to be on Wipeout. I think I could do really well. Or Holy Moly, I would love to see Mo on Holy Moly. That'd be great. Chris Egg wants to know where's the dog. Dog's right there. He's snoring. Yeah, that's what you guys are. If you guys are hearing snoring, that's the dog. He's so cute when he sleeps, and when he wakes up, he's just kind of a jerk sometimes. Carrie Smith says, "I wonder when the Invincible run will drop in the States." I don't know. I've been hearing from you guys March, but I don't have any information on that. I'll ask the person that sent them to me if they know, if they have any information that they can give. All right. David Lidson says FOD Runner isn't buying the Invincible because of its price. Did that put you off as well, or were you excited for it? It puts me off because it's a lot of money, but it got sent to me, so it didn't like I wasn't hesitant to get it because someone was like, "Hey, I got it through Roadrunner Sports, and they were like, Nike's asked us to find some people to seed the shoe to, and so we thought you'd be perfect. Do you want to try them?" And I was like, "Yes, please, thank you." And so like that was a pretty easy decision for me. On the one hand, I feel like $180 is a lot, but I compare it to the Peg Turbo, which people like complain for all of about 5 seconds about the $180 price on that shoe. And now people are like, "Oh yeah, that shoe was $180. I bought 3 of those." So I feel like, for better or worse, $180 people aren't going to blink an eye for that shoe. A lot of people will, but even more people won't blink an eye for that shoe. But I feel like I do think that Andy would probably really like it, given how much he liked the Nova Blast. But at the same time, I don't feel like the Invincible is as nice at faster speeds as the Nova Blast is. And since Andy did run speed work in his Nova Blast, if I were Andy, I'd say like get another pair of Nova Blast if you're looking for a shoe that's squishy and can do long runs. So that's kind of where I would go with that for him. All right, mouse is frozen. All right. Ryan Lindsay says, "Does the Nike Invincible fit in the forefoot in the same way as the Infinity Run?" I don't have the Infinity Run 2. I've only tried the Infinity Run 1 once, and it was a long time, more than a year ago, I think, at this point. So I'm not sure. I want to say it doesn't fit the same in the forefoot because that shoe is a little bit pointier. The shoe's not, the Invincible Run isn't as pointy. It fits more like just like a regular Nike shoe. The Invincible Run, I just felt like because it had flying, at least the version 1 had like regular-ish Flyknit, pretty regular Flyknit. It felt like a Flyknit shoe. And this feels just a little bit different. Jeff Elliott says, "I opened a high-pitch Mosaic IPA from Highwire. Pretty nice." I got to figure out if there's a way that I can get beer from the local brewery here. I'm sure there is. I just don't want to go inside. I'll be happy to bring my growler over and get it filled that way. If I could like stand outside, or maybe if I could just go in to pick it up real fast. I don't want to have to go in there and stand in there for a couple minutes. Although I think in Chicago, I don't pay attention to bars or whatever if they're going to be open, but because I didn't really go to bars anymore anyway. So, but breweries I did go to. But I think that they're moving up to 40% occupancy indoor dining. We're at like 3.3% positivity rate in this state, which is pretty amazing. Considering where we were in Iowa, the positivity rate was like, I don't know, it's anywhere between like 10 and 20%. It was just ridiculously high. But here, I mean, it's just, I don't know. So far, so good, it seems like. But I'm just like really worried about all these variants. So I'm like, we got to get these vaccines done before these variants really get a chance to spread. So I'm like, all right, maybe it's time for us to go to places. You know, Martha was talking about like, what was Martha talking about? Like getting her teeth cleaned, something like that. I was thinking about it. I mean, I did take my daughter to the dentist. She really needed to go. We got referred to an endodontist as well. But yeah. So and I'm taking my other daughter to the dentist on Monday. So like we've been doing some stuff, but I just want to like minimize anything possible. I don't know. I just feel like I can keep live avoiding those things. It's not that big a deal to me, you know. So I'm like, all right, I don't mind doing a little bit extra because I'm able to. I know other people aren't able to. They can't. Other people are going nuts. They don't have like this kind of thing to interact with other people, so they got to go out and do stuff. I understand. I can understand the rationale. They can't. So like I'll do a little bit more. I think if that helps. That's kind of how I see it. I don't know. Jana says, "Hi there, everyone. A bit late watching a hot bath today. That sounds nice. I'm chilly. I'm cold. I'm a little bit cold today. Um, I did today's video was on the Sub-Zero running, and that red long sleeve that I wore in the video is the shirt that I wore underneath. I want to do a test today. What if I take a long sleeve tech shirt and like a running shirt, and then put that with like a nice winter jacket? It was a lot colder. It was a lot colder. So I was like, I regret this. So I was like, I want my Merino. I want my Tencel. It made a difference today. I mean, by the end of the run, after my strides, I was feeling a lot better. Plus, then I had a tailwind versus the headwind. But like, for the first 3 miles, I was like, this is very uncomfortable. And I think because of that, I'm still a little bit chilly today. All right, Rocky Runs wants to know Hoku Carbon X2 or Endorphin Speed. Thoughts? I don't like high drop though. Well, I mean, if the drop's going to be really important to you, I would go the Carbon X2. What's the drop on the speed? Is it 8? I think it's 8. It doesn't feel like 8, but I mean, I suppose it's there. And for me, I'm getting a good deal of compression in the forefoot on my foot strike or on push off. So, it's probably about right. If the high heel drop affects you, then maybe the Carbon X2. Otherwise, if you can live with the 8, then I like the speed more. I just really love that shoe, and I really can't wait for the next one. I've been seeing those throwback versions. It's like navy with the old Saucony logo on it. I've seen images of them. I don't think I've seen them for sale yet, and I'm hoping that they come out with that for the Speed 2 and not just the Speed 1. Because I don't know if I'll buy another Speed 1, but because some of those shoes that I've seen images of, it's for the Kinvara 12 and the Freedom 4. So those are this year's shoes, 2021. So I'm hoping if there's a Speed, come to think of it, I don't know that I've seen the picture of the Speed. I don't know if it's a 1 or 2, but either way, I'm looking forward to getting another pair soon. All right, Philip says, Kofuzi, there's Decathlon in the US, right? They have a heart rate chest strap for $35 in Europe. So I guess in US as well. Would you consider testing one for your viewers with a lower budget? I'll take a look. I believe Decathlon sells to the US. I think we've talked about that before on the live stream, where I thought people were asking about like the event. But yeah, I'll take a look to see if that happens. I've tested the Wahoo ticker. I think that's probably the cheapest one, and the Sunto heart rate monitor, which is actually one of my favorites because it's the smallest. It works, and it is just stays there, and it's small. Sorry, I got some sound going on here. But that's a good one. But I'll take a look for it. I'll take a look at it. I'll see if I can. All right. Jeff Elliott says Ultra stuff. The Black Canyon 100K is this weekend, and the women's field is deep. Still a competition for golden tickets, and a few women that already have tickets. Interesting. Is that the one that that Sandy's running? Sandy Nightpaver? She run? That's the one she's running this weekend, right? Cool. That's cool. It'll be good to see. Like I missed like the live tweeting of those ultra events because it just takes so long. There's so much of it. You just see it all day when those events happen. I kind of miss that. It's nice to see on Twitter. Dr. Funk 1216 says, I'm probably going to get the Invincible, but haven't decided which color. I haven't seen too many colors, but Ben Johnson on Instagram today posted a picture of one that's black with like, instead of like the red puffy pads that are around the heel collar for the Invincible, which is like what it is on the one that I have, which frankly makes it look like a baboon's butt to me. But the one that he also showed had a picture of one with gray padding, and it just looked normal. It just looked like a shoe at that point. And then, but the swoosh was, I think, yellow, or maybe it was that kind of yellow that like I might think it's yellow, but people be like, that's so very green. It was like that kind of color. So I was like, I wish I had that color. That's a much nicer color. But so far, I think those are the only two colors that I've seen. I did see though that Tim Rossi just got a pair of all white Invincible 2s, and it kind of looks amazing. I'm not that interested in an Invincible 2, but if I were to get an Invincible 2, I'd probably try and get a pair of the all white one. It looks really good. All right, Albert Long says, just done my run. Boy, it's a little cold in Vancouver today. Hands frozen. I've been hearing so much today from people talking about like the Sub-Zero running. I was talking about I have 3 layers. I have a thin glove, a hand warmer, and then a thicker mitten or a thicker glove. And a lot of people are telling me stories like they're running in the same temperatures I am. They have like a thick running glove, and they're taking them off halfway through because their hands are sweating. And I'm just like, what is that like? I don't even understand that. This doesn't make sense. And I'm like, and then it reminded me, there's a woman I've been seeing on the path a couple of days now where she's running with her hands in her jacket, like in the jacket pockets. And so she's kind of like running funny because she's like, her hands are in her pockets. And then I've seen her other times running with like the sleeves like over her hands a little bit. And the first time I saw her do that, I wanted to be like, here, I've got 3 layers. I've got 2 gloves. Do you want you to take one? Because I was just like, if you're stuck out here on a run when you didn't bring gloves, that's gonna be miserable. But then I saw her again today, and then I'm reading these comments, and I'm like, oh, maybe she's just like that. Maybe her hands just don't get cold, and like every once in a while she just tucks them in her pocket, and then she's good. I can't imagine that. That just doesn't even make sense to me. It's kind of like those everyone. I mean, I don't know. I've noticed that every high school in like the Midwest had at least that one guy that always wore shorts every single day of school. We had that guy in New Jersey. It wasn't quite as difficult to do that in New Jersey, although it seemed impossible for me at the time. But like, the temperatures don't get quite as cold over there. But like in the Midwest, there's every school had at least one of those guys that did that. I mean, maybe it's just like she's like a hand version of that guy. I don't know. It's amazing. All right. All right. Someone's saying something about Josh is asking, was it a straight jacket? No, but it was white and puffy. So like, I mean, it was the right color, I guess. Enrique Gonzalez is coming in from the Philippines. What's going on, Enrique? Good to see you. How are you? All right. Let's see. Where was that one? Someone was saying something about Sandy. Oh yeah, and it says, I hope that Sandy has a good run. She had a rough time losing her sister. It would be nice to see her get a good result. Yeah, I know. I mean, like you're rooting for her so hard, right? Because I mean, she's been through a lot. She's been like, I don't know, just rebuilding everything. Like kind of everything. Lots of things kind of fell apart, but they did the coaching rebrand. She's been seeing like she's been seeing a physical therapist or some sort of someone involved in her movement. So she's been doing a lot of just kind of like building back up from the ground up. And I don't think she said she was in like PR shape because of like her like rehab. But I just really hope she has a good showing out there. You know what I mean? Just whatever that means for her. I hope she just feels good about it. I think she needs it. She deserves it. You know what I mean? All right. Let's see. All right, Mr. Derp9 says, "Hey, hello, Kafuzi. What music we listen to on these runs?" Um, Mostly I'm listening to podcasts. I I'm waiting. I don't. Oh, I gotta check again. I don't know. Like my next monthly like Audible, like the audiobook kind of like credit rolls around. So I haven't been listening to much audiobooks lately. I think there's something going on with my Apple Watch. I think it's dying because like it takes a long time for it to like get new podcasts onto it. So like every once in a while, I'll look at them, I'm like, these have all been on this. I've looked at all these podcasts. I don't. Where are the new ones? But I do listen to a lot of podcasts. When I do listen to music, it's usually my Kahuzi Run Club playlist. I'm like kind of like curating a list on Apple Music. Um, but that is usually a variety of like hip hop from the '90s, emo rock from the 2000s, um, and yeah, anything else that kind of like just I come across that's relatively recent. Not a ton of recent stuff in it, so it's a little bit older. Um, so that's the kind of music that I'm listening to. Raw RSS says, not sure if anyone else has mentioned, but thanks from Canada for including Celsius in your intro sections lately. Yeah, someone I've been doing like the miles and the pace, the distance and pace conversions for a while, and then when I do the temperatures, it makes sense to do the Celsius conversion. Um, and there's been I think it's the same person has been like, can you please also put the weights in grams? And I'm like, oh yeah. I totally meant to do that. And then I'll make another video and I'll like totally forget to do the weight in grams. So that's like the one that I'm also like looking to do, is to make sure I put the weight in grams, but as well as ounces. But I'm working on it. It's only taken me how many years to like figure that out. Not that I haven't figured it out. I just keep forgetting. I'm kind of self-centered a bit, I guess. All right. Rocky Run says, thanks, Kafuzi. So the speed is generally a better shoe. I think it's much more versatile and I have more fun in it. And so like whether it's a better like marathon shoe, for example, the Carbon X2 might be a better marathon shoe. It's probably a better ultra distance shoe, although I did run a 30-mile like FKT in the speed. So like it did pretty good for a longer distance, like what for me is over distance. So I mean, both of them are pretty good, but they solve the problem like a very different way. The speed I feel like is a much softer shoe, and it has like the nylon infused plate, so not quite as rigid as carbon, but still some sort of rigid element in there. And you feel it at much kind of like easier paces, so it's a lot more fun. The Carbon X2, that carbon, it's a little bit different. It's almost as if it's catching you when your foot hits, but you don't feel like it's pushing you. So it's a little bit different of a feel. I still certainly do need to put a lot more. My daughter's over here. The dog is like having some sort of dream while he's sleeping, and so like I don't know. I think like he's in REM sleep. His eyes are just darting around all over. His eyes are closed, but they're darting around all over the place. Yeah, so I enjoy the speed. I think it's more fun for me. But like, I'll put some more miles in the Carbon X2. I think it could be one of those like, it's a really great kind of, I would compare it to like probably at this point like a really good kind of like if it was a car, it would be a GT version of a car, something that's just great for like a big long road trip. Cruise control, set it and forget it and just go. All right. Let's scroll down a little bit. Just says the wind chill this evening was -8 for me. Took off the gloves for the last 10 minutes. Think I'm out of shape. Wow. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, That's just crazy. I'm still having a hard time like wrapping my head around that. Will Willing says, beautiful day for a run in Lubbock, Texas, 29 degrees Fahrenheit, absolutely no wind for 8 times 30-second fartleks. That sounds nice. That sounds nice. 29 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, that's just downright balmy compared to what we've been having. But I feel like for Lubbock, that's a little bit chilly, isn't it? Or does Lubbock get that cold? I don't think I've ever been to Lubbock, so I can't say that I would know at all from experience. Alan Shrimpton, good to see you again, Alan. It's coming in from New Zealand. Welcome. All right. Yeah. Christopher Rochelle says, taking the LSAT in a couple months. Any hot tips? I would say for me, the LSAT seemed to be a test that like I did have some issues finishing the entire test in time. And so my tip would be if I would say work on pacing. To use a running analogy, if there's anything that's going to trip you up for a little while, or you're like, oh, this is taking me a while to really like unpack this and figure it out, move on, go to some of the next ones, and then come back to it if you have time. So like get the questions right that you can get right, and then the ones that you need to really work on to figure out, come back to those. That'd be my advice. My other advice would be, it's not too late to not go to law school. Just saying. I'm sure lots of, I don't know anything about your situation, Chris. So, but I think a lot of people, I'm not saying you, but it's something that I throw out there to everybody. I know a lot of unhappy lawyers. That's the thing that I would say. Goku Runner says, any shoe that you just can't run in, stability shoes. Like those, they just feel not great to me. I don't enjoy it. And I usually feel it like in my knees afterwards. Yeah, Jana says, I asked you to put the weight in grams too. Would be useful, so I don't have to stop the video and Google it. Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to try to remember that. All right. I gotta scroll up to this conversation with Ben White. You guys talking about? Oh yeah, you guys talking about my email from the 2000s. Josh likes Hawthorne Heights. Nice. I had a conversation with my buddies, like who are my age, a little while ago, about how I really like Yellow Card, and they're like, "Yellow what?" And I was like, "Yellow? You guys don't know Yellow Card?" I'm like, I think maybe I started listening to Yellow Card when I was probably too old to be listening to Yellow Card. And we were at a brewery. I think it was in Minneapolis. Was it in Milwaukee? One of the M cities. And so the three of us are sitting at this. We're all in our 40s, and so at the time we were like right around, about to turn late 30s. And so like they're like, I never heard of Yellow Card. And I'm like, I know Yellow Card. And I'm like, you know why you haven't heard of Yellow Card? It's because you guys are my age and I'm too old to be listening to Yellow Card. And so we turned to like the server that was there, and we're like, if you don't mind us asking, this is not some like weird creepy dude like trying to hit on you, but like we're talking about bands from the 2000s. Like, how old are you and do you listen to Yellow Card? And she's like, oh, I just turned 21 a while ago. And yes, I listened to Yellow Card. So I was like, see, there you go. That was a long story. I don't think there was a lot of payoff for it. Thank you for sticking around for it though. But yeah. Yeah, so you guys are talking about Hawthorne Heights. What other band are we talking about? Let's see here. One more that I saw. Yeah, Josh says, Yellow Card, LOL, emo bands from 2000. Yeah, there we go. I was a big fan of Sum 41. I like what happened to The Used? They had one great album, and then like they just disappeared. I felt like there was a lot of, at the time it was like, oh, Provo is going to be the new spot, but then it was just like, no, never mind, it wasn't. Steve says, I can never see your Run Club playlist on Apple Music. Is it shared? I thought it was. Maybe I have to reshare it or something. I'll make sure. I'll double check. I'll go check on it again after like the live stream. Make sure it still is. All right. Richard Smart says, greetings from Harker Heights, Texas. As we have canceled school today due to icy weather, enable me to watch Co back in Chicago. I see. Yes. Awesome, Richard. Good to see you. Hope you guys are staying safe with all that ice that's down there. We are back in Chicago for now. The faster like this recovery in terms of the vaccine rollout seems to be happening, the less likely it seems that we'll go back like before the summer. We were thinking, I still have to take care of some stuff with my business. We had some, medical appointments we had to, we really couldn't keep putting off. And so that's the main reason we came back. But we thought, maybe we'll do another quarantine, get an Airbnb somewhere in Iowa, and then, rejoin my in-laws. But I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen now. Especially if, like, I don't know. I mean, we're we were originally thinking like the conservative, like the not the conservative, the optimistic estimate would be like my wife and I, like people with regular health, would be able to get a vaccine in June at the earliest. We are like, at that point, it's kind of like you're kind of moving again for like a month or two, because then we'd have to come back, re quarantine, and then or whatever, go through a lot of stuff. But yeah, I think we'll see. We're playing it by ear. All right. And the wrong one. One more. Taking Back Sunday. Taking Back Sunday was good too. I like them. All right. Let's see. Let's get yeah. Where'd it go? No. That's not the one I wanted to look at. Martha had something about vaccine rollout in New Vienna. I mean, my in-laws got their first dose over the weekend, so I'm very happy to hear that. But Martha's saying, I heard Iowa dispense with required mask wearing. I think if I'm understanding what my wife has been telling me and informing me about, at the state level, the governor has basically lifted everything. Everything. So like you can do anything you want, like you could do before. I think with like of course, we're expecting Iowans to be responsible, like Iowans always are. I think that's kind of like the approach. I don't know. I really don't know. It's just bizarre. All right. Christopher Rochelle says, I did a tour with Hawthorne Heights in 2018. Can confirm they are still around and also nice dudes. Really? Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. Benoit says, I'm surprised anyone knows Yellow Card. I caught the emo train just like turned into a moody teenager. Yeah, really? I mean, is Yellow Card not really well known? I mean, that Ocean Avenue album, like every song on that album is really good. I mean, yeah, and they've had a lot of good. I don't know. Interesting. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it there for today. Otherwise, I'm going to go down this rabbit hole a while longer. Maybe we'll pick it up next time talking about other like bands that I feel like everyone should know. I mean, I'm not that passionate about it, but that I really like. But I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, I have a feeling you're probably going to start hearing about from a lot of these not older, but these emo bands from the 2000s. Because now they're on my mind again, and some of them are on the Kofuzi Run Club playlist, so they've been there, so it's not something new for me. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. I'll go double check to make sure that Apple playlist, if people are, I know a lot of people aren't on Apple Music, but if you're on Apple Music, I'll make sure it's shareable, or maybe I'll post a link to a link to it. So there's that. All right. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about the Verity Sense, the new heart rate sensor from Polar. I wanted to get a couple of days worth of data in it so I could take a look at that and compare it to the OH1. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. And then we'll do another live stream for Friday, just a regular Friday. We're all cut up. We're no longer on the weird week now. We're just on a regular Friday. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, 3 p.m., same time as today. In the meantime, be safe and warm out there, everybody. Thanks.